Hello YouTube, another react. We are going to react on our favorite, on our Giganosaurus, whatever, Hack Tuah girl. Let's go.
Welch, aka the Hawk Tour Girl, is the perfect
Also, shout out to Internet Anarchists for his daily content.
example of how to lose your entire audience as quickly as possible. From openly taking advantage of her fans to lying during a CoffeeZilla interview and denying any wrongdoing. It's no surprise that all of Hailey's social media stats are in the red and dropping fast. However, that
By the way, Soul Diamond second on the leaderboard. She had a crazy downfall. I have no idea what happened to her, so let's watch it. I am curious.
decline seems to only be the beginning of Hailey's career downfall.
Thank you to all
But I would love a hack to spin on that thing.
my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good. We're gonna be good.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries.
By the way, she ugly as fuck.
Into time,
We have a
her
fight
interview
here.
With FaZe is doing more harm than good.
No,
and
no,
her
cap.
horrible comeback
We
causing her
ain't
to lose
no
90%
no
of her
donate
fan
fights here, bro.
base.
We ain't doing
Around
that shit.
2 months ago, I uploaded this video detailing Hailey's journey to online notoriety. However, the long and short of it is
We
that
didn't watch
Hailey
that.
is the type of person who can leverage her meme status to build a notable podcasting platform and then throw it all away for a crypto pump and dump.
Hey y'all, it's Haley. I just
Oh
want to say thank you for joining.
no, not again, bro. Don't tell me. The last 5 reacts that I have done to somebody famous, the whole fall down and whatever, it's about the crypto coin. Don't tell me that this is again. If it is, I will skip it, chat. If it is this one, I will skip it.
Joining my space, and I also want to thank you for my 15,000 holders. We got snipe botted today, but we didn't sell a single token. This is just a launch, and I want to tell you I'm here to stay. The plan is to give these coins to my real fans, the ones that buy my merch, watch my podcast, donate to my charity. And I also wanted to tell you that I learned a lot along the way, but I just want to say screw the sniper bots, and I'm not going anywhere.
Following her controversial crypto project, Hailey completely disappeared from social media with the hope that the heat would
Why does every famous person make crypto? I don't know. And you know what? Wait, I know, but bro, Tate did it. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, how is the name? I did a react. Wait, I can show you. I can show you right now. Look. Look how many of them have done the same exact thing. Look at this. Look, bro, look, no joke. So, we have Adam, where is Adam? Adam did it. Logan did it. Tate did it. Jack Doherty did it. Every famous that I have reacted to have done it. Every famous guy, and what the fuck? Create an own coin. If I create an own coin, I'm not gonna scam you.
die down eventually. Well, it seems Hailey is ready to test the waters once again. On the 6th of February 2025, a new episode of the Hawk Tour podcast was leaked online, and fans got front row seats to Hailey blaming everyone but herself for 40
Scams,
How do you feel?
advertisements for
I don't know,
gambling.
I'm still a little shook up about it.
How was the nap?
It's a very long nap. I would say that's what sucks about it too. I had to read that off a phone and like put it in my.
Chad, look how ugly she looks like here. It's me. It's the camera. She looks like, I don't know, 2 out of 10.
And I was like, oh, man,
She's not pretty enough to justify her stupidity.
This is mainly for me,
Yes.
and again, why I wanted to come
Yes.
here and talk about this is
I
because
agree.
millions of people are going to watch this. Everybody's kind of waiting to hear what you say. Everyone's kind of waiting to see how this plays out. And 99% of these people don't know shit about crypto. Just
And
like
I'm
you.
one of them.
Just like you,
I'm
exactly.
one of them.
Exactly. And the ongoing joke on CT right now is like, if she just did this 2 days after Trump, she'd be okay.
Exactly.
Which isn't necessarily true because of the way it was done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? There's a right and a wrong way to do this. And if you have interest, it's mostly important that your network and the people that you trust to walk into this market are exactly that, people that you can trust. You
I think
shouldn't,
that's where I messed up.
for sure.
Unsurprisingly, the first few moments of the interview were dedicated to disarming viewers by making Haley look like the victim, even going as far as pretending to cry.
Thank you to all my true fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to like get all this figured out and make.
Chat, I'm having a deja vu. We're watching again the same thing about crypto. No.
Everything right.
Be good.
Transparency was their top priority.
Make sure that we address everything, get through all of exactly what happened. I think that it's really important.
Bro, yeah. I'm having a deja vu because everybody who has millions, I don't know if she had ever millions, but a lot of people who are millionaires say, oh my bad, I didn't know anything about crypto and I did a collab with a company and the company scammed you guys. I didn't make any dollar, any euro or whatever. And bro, they made fucking millions.
At this point,
Who they trying
to
to
be
fool,
totally
bro?
transparent about
And
everything
somebody's still falling for this trick.
that happened with you and your partners and this launch and in crypto and what makes this bad and what makes what Iggy Azalea is doing maybe even good and what makes Trump's doing different, right? I want to get through all that. So I brought two guys that I live with and do this crypto shit at a very high level. I brought Thread Guy, he's the biggest streamer in crypto.
By
And
the
I
way,
brought,
relax, you're not
Frank
wrong, bro.
D-Gods, who
I just
launched
don't
a
wanna
very
say it
successful
live right
project
now.
last cycle, and he trades at a very high level. He's one of the best trader guys. These guys are really sharp, and they know this market inside and out. And most importantly, they have front-facing brands, and their faces are everywhere, and we're all doxxed, and we all have to move militant, and we're all super passionate.
Considering the gravity of the situation and the damage Haley had caused to her audience, you'd think she'd put repairing her career over profit. But that wasn't the case. Briefly, 5 minutes into this career-defining interview, Haley shamelessly inserted a sponsored segment meant to further profit off the fans whom she'd already taken millions.
Alright, you guys, I only got one sponsor left because there's some real ones and they've stuck with me since every bit of this started. Game Time believes in me, y'all, and I believe in them.
Game Time's more loyal than most of y'all's mans out here.
Yeah, some of those guys just leave at the first opportunity they get.
Let's keep a little bit, chat.
Time deal.
Her reasons for creating and promoting the Hawk token as more altruistic.
I just spent 50 cents on Tralalero Tralala RNG, and you didn't donate in this stream that keeps you company every night.
So
Explain.
this idea got brought to me like months ago, and I was kind of, I don't want to do that. I don't know anything about it, and I've never heard the space is a good place to be. So I was like, I don't know about it. Which we trusted the guy that come to us. He was a friend of, I don't know, a friend of a friend, I guess you can put him.
Chat, her voice is so. I'm having a headache of her voice. It's like, fuck you, bro. I don't care about the crypto thing. Can we watch something else except the crypto?
Discussed. Haley's team didn't even know who was
Okay,
creating the
let's watch
product
now.
they were shilling. And apparently, most of it is still controlled by unknown individuals. Which leaves a clear question. How on earth did they think the project would work out well?
What was the pre-sale structure exactly?
I'm not certain to the structure of the pre-sale. There was a 17% allocation. Most of the pre-sale investors, my
What is this
understanding, were
quality?
Asia, based in Asia.
Okay.
And there was again supposed to be a 1 month lock with a 1 year drip after that.
And how much was raised for that 17%?
2.8 million.
Despite Haley and her team's gross incompetence, FaZe thought the real issue with the token was that people were calling it a scam and making crypto look bad.
And then obviously we've seen this story a million fucking times, right? So we more or less know what happens. The issue for you is the millions and
2.8 million.
millions of people who farmed views off this and made stories about this and covered it.
Whose
Your
mentors?
average fan, the average fucking middle America 16-year-old kid who's a fan of you, just sees crypto scam, which is again another huge part of the conversation that I'm passionate about, where it's just like crypto already has this bad rap, and it's because of things like this, and it's because the onboarding process is flawed, the barrier to entry is flawed. You probably don't even understand
I
half
don't know
of what's
that
being
is.
talked about right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a real language barrier. And the point is, like, If you have no business in crypto, you probably shouldn't be in.
Even though most of the interview's talking points were focused on sympathizing with Haley's poor introduction to crypto, her co-host thankfully brought up some ways she could help the people who were actually scammed by the token.
Let's
I
watch
think
what
if you
she's going
took-
to do.
If you took all the money that you made from the deal, whatever, and just like bought back the coin and then locked it up, I feel like that's a very like clear action that you can make, back to the community. And I think that would just like stamp it and the community can run with it. So that's like the idea that we were talking
As
about.
far as narrative goes and a gesture, I mean, you just fucking nailed that, by the way. And that would you mentioned it earlier, 125,000 plus 100,000, or what did I hear?
Yeah, so
How much total money has been received due to this?
125,000 has
Been received.
been received.
Yeah. Basically, what Frank just said in normal people terms is you take every dollar that you made on this and you mark it by this token and you lock it up. You walk away from it. You don't ever see that money. You can never touch it again. And you say, maybe I'm not gonna talk about this every day, whatever, but I'm gonna stand on business. I put my face on this. I'm accepting the responsibility that this happened. And hopefully, everybody is made whole at some point.
When presented with such a clear way to start undoing the havoc they caused, one would imagine Haley's team would gladly take the opportunity, especially after they claimed to have good intentions from the start. Unfortunately, Haley's team had other plans.
Look at this bitch ass look, bro. This is the look this look. Yeah. I make 1 million. Yeah. I made 200K. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can do this to help the people that I scammed. Yeah. Okay. I don't give a fuck. This is that look, bro. And I hate this look, bro. Hate this look.
As they took advantage of the hype around the interview to briefly pump the price of Hawk and sell some of the token. Almost immediately after, FaZe published a tweet completely disavowing the interview, reading, "So in an attempt to hear Haley Welch's side of the crypto scam story, I agreed to do her first podcast back. I had heavy stipulations, including 1. Not allowing markets to be manipulated by leaking this episode's existence before a resolution was found. 2. Her team finding a real solution regarding the money she made, where that should go, and what to do with the Hawk project moving forwards. These were non-starters, and we were already told this episode would only ever see the light of
Bro, relax, because I just watched what you typed, and I think it's more important than what they said, because they are talking about one scam who all the world is dumb, and somehow every influencer did this thing and made money. But I saw that. It's crazy to me that she got famous from such a shit meme. Bro, in this world, we have tun sour creators making millions. And we are still recreating it again and again. We have people go viral for the worst reasons, the worst possible reasons. It's not bad, but at the same point, if we can't understand why we have everybody famous, like Tuntun Sour is funny. This is funny. This is it's educational. I am funny, let's say. I am a streamer or whatever. But what she did, if we answer this question and these questions in our heads, half of the world will be filtered in a better way for us. Not to have let's say, I don't know if it's a bannable word though. Okay, the Nazi thing, I will call it. I'm not like that, but I'm saying that everybody needs to think. You can't stay in somebody's stream who says, "Relax, you are donating now, or I will ban you." Andreas, if you donate $1, why you didn't did $30 sub? And you will donate because he manipulate you. This is problem with I don't know. Anyway.
Day if we explicitly greenlit it. FaZe would also expose the reason why the podcast was leaked in the first place. Reading, "We noticed a random spike in volume on the coin, along with random messages asking if we did the podcast. Very clearly, her team was not as solid as they claimed to be. Now today, the episode randomly gets leaked. The price of Hawk is pumping, and they completely effing fumbled the bag yet again. What a effing mess. Poor girl. It's a wonder how she found herself in this position in the first place." Now, Haley Welsh, I'm gonna speak to you directly and say the exact same thing I said to you on Spaces that night. Fire everybody, your team's redacted. Once again, Haley let her greed and lack of concern for fans get the better of her. And just like before, it landed right in CoffeeZilla's crosshairs. By the 8th of February 2025.
What if you could do
Wait, let me
all your SEO
let this ad
in
go
one tab?
because I'm bored
Meet
with ads.
SEMrush, a tool.
CoffeeZilla
So,
published it.
wait, her team set her up.
A video titled Tuah is Back, which discussed the disastrous state of Haley's career and revealed some exclusive information about what's been going on behind the scenes.
All I got on there. That scary guy, let me tell you. Don't ever want to have a conversation with him.
Whoa. Don't ever want to have a conversation with me. Guys, I'm not intimidating. I don't know what's the problem here. I'm Joe Rogan inches tall, guys. It's not a striking figure here you're going to be scared of. If you meet me in person, you're not going to be like, you know? Relax. It's fine. Just get on the call. Let's have a conversation. I don't understand. And I also thought this was weird because Haley Welch's lawyer invited me on the show. In fact, like, really, really wanted me on their show and kept telling me how much Haley Welch liked me. Hence the t-shirt, you know. I used to like CoffeeZilla until he wouldn't come on my podcast. Then he is, you know, Voldemort, and we can't mention him. He's scary. Watch out. Don't talk about CoffeeZilla. He's intimidating. Here's the message I got from her lawyer. Haley would like to have you on as a guest on her podcast. You'd be the first guest since the failed crypto token launch and would get significant amount of views, would be very friendly. This guy must not know me. She really likes you. Wow. I thought she didn't want to have a conversation with me. What gives? Yeah.
While CoffeeZilla declined the podcast appearance,
She's really down to do a hack tour. Speaking of that thing with you, bro.
he still wanted to know what happens between Haley's team.
Why avoid Zilla, bro? It's okay, bro. Look, she's not that ugly. Wait, something crashed.
And Doc Hollywood before the token's launch.
First, I don't want to rehab someone's image who scammed people. And I really felt that questions had not been answered that should have been answered. Such as, what was the agreement with Haley Welch and with Doc Hollywood? Very simple question, right? Basically, Haley Welch's position is, oh, I was a victim. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how much, I was barely gonna make money. 125K plus like, you know, half of 10% of the tokens, locked for a year, like this terrible deal I got taken advantage of by these monsters. Like that was kind of their position. And all I wanted to know was, you know, give me the contract. Show me that that is true. And unfortunately, they were not able to give it. He's not in a position to share it, he says. I'm sorry. I said, can't verify anything you say then. Even what you told me about the 50% split, which I had heard Tuah Girl was gonna make 50% of all the profits. And he kind of told me, no, that just applies to the tokens. So I was like, oh, well, maybe she's less of a stakeholder in this than I thought. I don't know.
After this, CoffeeZilla explained that he gave FaZe certain questions to ask Haley, since they wouldn't share the contract and stipulated that the podcast would remain a secret until some positive changes were made. As we've already discussed, that condition wasn't met, and Haley's team would claim it was an editing error.
The guys behind it, they said it was an editor mistake. Oh, oops. Yes, the guys who interviewed us thought we may have insider traded the...
It was an editor's mistake, chat. It was an editor's mistake. I was preparing a video with ISO speed. We did a collab, okay? And somehow it got leaked. My editor's mistake. The video that might broke the internet for me, for my perspective, somehow got leaked. It was my editor's mistake, bro. I mean, it's okay. My editor's mistake.
But this guy says he vouches for the internal team, saying it was none of them. And Better, which is Jake Paul's team, I guess, no way they would ever do something like that, guys. Believe us. We will likely never know the info leak. The clip posting leak today was an accidental by Better's editor who had the episode in the YouTube queue waiting on approvals to release. Now, I don't know if this is true or false. I thought the weird thing about this video is that, like, everyone has had, anyone in media who's, like, had a sensitive episode recorded, you don't, like, do all the work if you think it might get canned, obviously, right? These people not only edited the show, they put an ad in the leaked version of the episode, okay? So I'm not saying it didn't leak. I'm saying it's highly convenient.
While the leaked interview might have benefited Haley's team in the short term, it would ultimately come back to bite them, as it created some very obvious contradiction in their story, compared to the evidence from CoffeeZilla's investigation.
This is from Doc Hollywood himself, which, if you remember, is like the key guy. Here he is saying, we'll do best to make it as simple as possible. The pre-sale raise is 50-50 Project Haley. Fees for market making and LP is split between us and Haley 50-50. Now that's a very, very different story.
Chat, the coin made $2.8 million, and maybe Haley made, Hack to a Girl made more than $1 million.
Makes zero sense for someone who's bringing in all of the name recognition. Like, you're bringing the whole thing and you're getting this like measly piece of the pie. It doesn't check out. Like, 125K is a lot of money, but they made like $4 million. So then he says this.
So, 4 million split it in half. It's not $100,000. It's 2 million.
The contract says she was paid 125K on signing, 200K within 30 days of launch. Interesting. We didn't know that. And 50% of the net proceeds of the project, with mutually agreed upon tokenomics. The tokenomics we agreed to were for half of the 10% of the tokens. Now, I want you guys to realize that what he just said
so more than 2
is
million.
backtracking on what he's been saying the entire time. Which he's been saying the entire time, oh, it's just 50% of the 10%. 50% of the tiny amount of tokenomics
50% of the 10%.
we're gonna eat. No. What he's saying here, finally, he's giving us the...
Okay. I'm gonna watch the last 5 minutes, because 99% is going to be the same. What Internet Anarchist has to say about this at the end.
Jail time. Fortunately for Haley.
Oh, jail time.
$dollars from a scam? Like, what?
Regardless of what Haley and her team say, the fact of the matter is that they were willing to act dishonestly with the people who were trying to help them remedy the situation. They only care about the fans when it bolsters Haley's public image, and they would have gladly taken the profits from the token if it didn't come with the possibility of jail time. Fortunately for Haley, she isn't going to have to worry about facing any legal consequences, as the SEC would drop their charges against her the following month. Her attorney gave TMZ the following explanation for the investigation's closure, reading, "The SEC closed the investigation without making any findings against or seeking any monetary sanctions from Haley. Because they did not bring any action against her, there are no restrictions on what she can do in regards to crypto or securities in the future. With her legal troubles out of the way, Haley must have felt that she could put everything behind her and return to her usual podcast uploads. Sadly for Haley, the internet wasn't going to let her off the hook that easily. On the 8th of April 2025, Haley uploaded the 16th episode
Brother,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
of the Talk Tuah podcast and brought on KSI as the main guest.
Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of Talk Tuah. It's been a hot minute since we've been back here, but now we're the official owners of Talk Tuah. And we may or may not have flew to London to get a very special guest for you. We got KSI.
Yo, live in the...
KSI, bro. KSI, bro, why you are... I mean, look at his face, Ad. This is the face that I gave when I had sex after 4 years, I think. No joke. No. Andreas, I think that KSI did it because when something stays, how can I say it? Without water, let's say, stays dry for a long way, You have to find a good way to make it wet again.
Baby.
It was one thing to shamelessly crawl back to the audience you stole from, but it was another story to give them one of the most uninteresting interviews on the internet.
Yeah, I think it's better if I'm alive and healthy. Health is the most important thing. More than money, more than family, etc.
Yeah.
Because, if you want to be there for your family, you gotta be healthy. So,
Gotta be good.
yeah.
You ever think I could box?
Would you want a box?
I actually do want to box.
Really?
You gotta give her some tips.
Yeah, I need some tips.
Throughout the interview, Haley and her co-host...
You see what I mean? You see what I mean, chat? They are going to box. Box, it's like this. This. Uppercut. Maybe she's going to fight like this. I don't know. I don't assume anything.
barely asked any worthwhile questions, and completely relied on KSI's presence to carry the interview, something fans were quite willing to point out.
A BBC
with comments
tip, bro,
reading, when the guest has to carry the conversation on a podcast, you know it's cooked. Overall, the video was poorly received by users, with thousands of dislikes and one of the lowest view counts on her channel despite having such a high-profile guest. However, the negative reception didn't stop Haley from releasing another episode a few days later. Unfortunately, the outcome would remain the same, if not worse, with a commenter stating,
Wow. So yeah.
she got a taste of success on the internet, ruined it with shitcoins. Now she's gonna be chasing getting 10k views on a video until she says fuck it and starts an OF. Haley clearly wanted to have her cake and eat it too, even after
Chat, she's not doing OnlyFans already. Wait, she's not in OF already. Wait. Hack Tuah girl OF. I think she's already in OnlyFans, bro. Hack Tuah girl OnlyFans.
In bio for my OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans and there will never be an OnlyFans. I just make funny jokes. That's all I do.
Yeah. Funny jokes with a KSI BBC 360 special. Okay.